What's up, y'all? LTJ Reads is here, and if this is throwing light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. It is Pride Month. I got my very easy to learn pronouns on. Okay, everybody, they're very easy to learn. They, them, she, her, he, him, we. So easy. We learned them in elementary school. I hope that we can continue to use them correctly for people that request them the way they want to be used. Okay, y'all, Pride Month. We're having fun. We're on episode 99, and I am excited. Next episode's 100, but we are doing something fun. We're talking about food. I've got Armando and Patrick on here. They've been doing a series called We Talk, We Eat, and I am super excited to get this on here. We haven't really had an opportunity to talk about cooking yet on the show. So I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Armando, Patrick, thank you for coming on to this platform, taking your time, and validating this with your presence. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, thank you so much for having us today. It's been a crazy weekend, with Pride already in our world in this month. It's very busy. Um, and then on top of the Texas heat, but we're out here
hmm
and we're very happy to be here.
Texas heat, woo! It's
Yeah,
hot.
it's
It's no
hot.
joke, y'all. It's got hot. It escalated real quickly to like I tell people it's like three degrees less than hell.
Oh no, it's terrible right now. You go outside and it's instant tan or burn.
And sweat.
And
Definitely
sweat.
that
Yeah.
drenched.
No, in trying to, well, I've seen people exercise and run around here in like 30-degree weather, but it's not recommended. It's going to get hotter because we're just starting in June. I'm saying it's a little tough when it gets in the triple digits. So,
Uh,
anywho,
I know.
no,
We'll get there.
we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, y'all. So you'll have a interest in something called food.
Yes.
hmm
So yeah,
Something that
okay.
we need every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how our channel started. See, me and Patrick, we met in the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, and my love for constant posting and social media, and he's actually he will be a psychologist, and so he's our conversations mixed with food and wanting to be in front of the camera. That's
hmm
kind of what started We Talk, We Eat.
Yeah.
And how do we go about this? We started the channel honestly to kind of pay homage to our favorite things pop culture and our love for a good Chili's three for me for 10.99. And I was like, hey, we have something here.
I
Our
watched
love for
the episode, by the way.
Oh yes, thank you. Very that, our love for finding a deal with food and a nice hot topic, whether that be our favorite movie, Marvel Universe, or some kind of what's happening now. That's kind of how we gauge our episodes.
Again, with your love to record things. Like there's so much content that we have that just doesn't get used. Like this man is like every moment he's got a picture, he's got his camera, like nothing gets past this one.
So, how much are you cooking and how much are you reviewing already like made food, if that makes sense?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can answer that. I think sometimes I gauge it on our personality. I cook a lot. So sometimes I like to showcase something I'm gonna make from scratch, or if I think it's like a viral thing that I've been seeing on the internet, that's when I'll decide to cook something. When I see maybe something that is being cooked a lot or that people want to see, I think that's when I'll attempt to make something like a crunch wrap, like an at-home crunch wrap. I noticed a lot of people on food social media were making their own crunch wraps. So I said, I'm going to put a little twist on it. So I made it a little healthier and I made my own crunch wrap. And that's sometimes how I'll gauge how if I'm going to cook or not. Or honestly, if we just see something tasty, that's when we'll decide, hey, why don't we try cooking that too? Or that'll be a good video.
So
Um,
you were,
or
but you've had Taco Bell before. or you review that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes.
Because we also have those moments where we're like, we're cheap and we want to eat something now.
Or we just
So,
have an item on the menu that we really like, and it's like,
oh
yeah, I just
yeah.
want to talk about this item and this other interesting thing that's been kind of coming up, like Armando said, in pop culture, or just maybe an interest in the moment.
Yeah. And we know that we're not the only ones that love Taco Bell or a loaded box from Taco Bell. So it's like, we're going to tell you what to get from there so you can make wise decisions when you go to Taco Bell.
I think what probably distinguishes us from, because there's a lot of food review channels, right? And really
Mhm.
popular big ones on TikTok and stuff. Obviously we're not gonna like compete with them, and that's not the point. But I think what distinguishes us is, we just add a little conversation into it. It's like, oh, this is interesting, but also like, why don't we talk about this? What's going on? We just want to share a little bit of ourselves and just something, you could play, listen to the car to, or just like, oh, hey, they dropped an episode, and it's just nice.
And we both kind of react big or small on camera. So, I mean, just naturally in conversation, we could be eating something and taste it, and just our eyes are like, so that's also what drove me to want to start a channel with Patrick, is he's so expressive when it comes to if he liked something or not.
I'm also
So,
clumsy, so I have a lot of funny camera takes.
oh yeah. But going back to it, we don't really have a formula to whether we're gonna cook or purchase some food. It's more like, what are our taste buds right now and what's happening on social media with food?
So you've got that, the Drew Barrymore grill or something?
Okay, so that Drew Barrymore little skillet, that was a gift from my mom. Yeah, that was a gift from my mom, and I said, wait a minute. We're about to make fajitas, make quesadillas, do everything on this little grill. And it helps because we can put it in front of the camera and really it still engage what we're doing, and kind of like Korean barbecue style.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes we'll do that. I think that's what I like to do as far as if I'm going to be cooking something. I like to do that. I like to cook maybe in front, like Korean barbecue style, and talk, because that's how I feel we would naturally be doing it. You would be sitting in front of me, I would be talking to you, and I'd still be cooking because I'm not gonna stop cooking, you know? So
I want to dig a little bit deeper.
yeah.
Do you are discussing things? Do you
Mm.
come into each cooking show or eating show with a conversation in mind, or do you just go in, you start cooking, and you just let whatever the conversation be?
Yeah. Yeah, so we usually have a topic in mind. By usually, like almost always, we have a topic in mind, but we do also want to allow for like natural conversation to occur, because that's how it would be going. Like if you were really sitting in there with us, like Armando was saying. So we have a topic in mind, but it can go other ways. We try to keep it focused.
Yeah. And like I said, sometimes with social media, we're like, what are the girls talking about today? So that sometimes I'm like, okay, today we're talking about Wicked, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Or next week, okay, we're gonna go watch
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, Marvel. Let's do a Marvel episode. Or, like that's how we kind of gauge and what we're gonna talk about, and also so we can stay on the subject. We might venture out here and there to our own personal stories, but we're still talking about Marvel Thunderbolts. You know what I mean?
It's like you're teaching people how to multitask, gossip, and cook at the same time. Like that's
Exactly.
not everybody can gossip and cook at the same time.
Oh no, and I've learned from the best, aka my mom, making all types of food in the kitchen and still being like, and your tia said that on Tuesday, well, while
Yeah.
she's making food. So listen, I learned from the best, the Latina mom.
So, is there anywhere you won't go with conversation? Because food and conversation is literally like something that we get excited about. Like, and maybe when you get older, surely, but meeting your friends out for dinner or whoever, or going to a nice restaurant, conversation, food, you know, it's been a part of human culture. I don't know. It's important. And we all know we don't want to go on a date or out with people and eat and not have a good conversation. It can really affect the meal and the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
An appetite.
yeah.
It can. And you know what? Some people don't actually know how to converse or have conversation.
Right.
And in a way, you are kind of teaching people how to be engaging in different ways here because you're engaging them and either doing a food review or preparation of food, right? So you've got them there, but then you're having conversations that appear to me to be rather organic. Even if you have something you're coming into it, it's conversation, right? Is there anything are there things that what are some things that you feel are not appropriate to discuss while you're eating?
I would say things that might evoke disgust. In general, you just don't want to mix those. Kind of like if you were actually having a real dinner conversation. I don't think we've thought too hard about things we won't talk about. I think for now we've just focused on things that are just fun and interesting. But I wouldn't say we've created any plan of like we won't talk about this.
Yeah, I think it's more like, okay, if I like vomited in that story, I'm not going to talk about it right now because we're eating or something. Or if there was something disgusting, like I'm just not going to go there. Also, I will say I try to stay away because it happens a lot with food reviews. If I don't like something, I try to say I do not like what this tastes like. Or I don't like this smell because in the beginning I was eating and I would say, "Oh, I love this. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this." I would forget to remind myself, like, no, if this is nasty, just say it's nasty and put it away, Like, so it's not that I've been staying away from things to talk about. I think it's just not to go into Discussville, where it's like, but also be
So,
truthful.
but it's kind of like I don't want to say barbershop conversation, but like it's casual conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually have been interested in us doing like deeper, more real, like deeper just conversations. That also comes in my background, right? I want to normalize being able to have those things so other people can learn how to talk about them. We just haven't planned out an episode for that yet, but that is definitely something I would like to do.
Yes. Yeah. And also we have been trying to we've been going more like on site to things. Like we went to a real famous flea market in the Rio Grande Valley. It's called the Pulga de Alamo. And that's like a whole subculture of thing over there because you have flea market culture, you have real life people negotiating business and everything. So that was also a nice experience, like going out field work and being like, look at this, look at that. Oh, what's that? Because that's what I do too. Whenever I go to places, I'm looking at everything, judging everything,
Doing
excited
track
about things.
investigations.
Yeah, yeah. I'm investigating everything whenever I go to places and I'm looking for a good deal. And that to me, that is the even better content because I'm out there. I'm like a reporter. I'm being, look at this, like it's been a little bit more of what I like to do. And I think we're going to incorporate that more too. Just more real life, getting in there, being at that location, eating at that restaurant. I think that's where we're leading to. Mhm.
So, Patrick, you have a psychology background. Armando, what's your background?
My background is in entertainment and audio engineering.
Okay. Mixing it together. I mean, you can obviously tell that those kind of things are mixing into it. But what is the psychology behind food? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we need it? Why do we want food as an experience? You know what I'm saying? We don't want food. Because we enjoy, like going to restaurants, but even when I was in college, I had this class called Performance in Everyday Life. And it talked about how our daily routines are like rituals and things that we do, like getting up and brushing our teeth, going to work, going to a funeral, going to a high school reunion. We perform these things a certain way.
Yeah.
It's just like, so even being at home or being with family on a Sunday, the routine of coming in, mom making a big dinner and stuff like that, there's a certain performance aspect
Yeah.
to cooking, and it is a form of entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like you said, setting up a family dinner, placing the plates, getting ready to showcase a side that you made. It's all performative and it's all like you're waiting for them to taste it and be like, "Ooh, this is bomb," you know. So I understand that. Mhm.
I want to extend what you two are saying from, I guess, a different side of it. It's also builds a sense of community and culture, right? So the types of foods we like, the types of foods we pick, how we prepare them is a reflection of your culture. It may be something that was passed down to your family that you learned how to cook, right? Or maybe something that came from a different region that you're from. So a lot of that is involved there, but also it's a time people like you have to stop at least for a little bit to eat, right? You have to slow down. So whoever you're eating with, that's your opportunity to bond with them and you have these conversations that you don't really get to dig into while you're busy. So it can often be a great form of connection building. And that adds to what you were saying earlier, that depending on the vibe or how well someone can execute conversations during mealtime can really affect the vibe.
Mhm.
How do you guys feel about fine dining?
So, okay, I love fine dining, but sometimes I run into the issue where I don't really eat red meat. So I don't really go into places where it's like beef, beef, beef. And sometimes his palate is a little bit more simplistic. So we haven't really, it's not something we've gotten into just yet. We haven't felt the need to go there yet. Um,
As
we're,
far as
we're broadening our palettes as well, still.
well, what you're providing things in a laid back fashion, and the reason why I bring that up is that there is a particular uptightness to that,
Mhm.
you know. But going to your point of how you like meat before, I was taught that if you, I mean, okay, first you get it rare, medium rare, rare, right? Okay, that's how you're supposed to take your steak, medium rare. And then if you want it cooked more, or if you request like steak sauce or something like that, it's supposed to be an insult to the cook, right?
Yeah. And I'm a condiments person. So I like this, I like that. I almost like dressing up any food that I eat. So like you said, I don't want to be insulting people either with how I like to comfortably eat.
No, you got, but that, and that's what, because I just don't like, I don't even know if, I mean, I was a server, but I don't like my food presented in that space, in that way. Like, saying, "Hey, let's go to find out," that's not going to get me excited. You know, I've had more fun at tons of Chili's, and the thing is that I don't want to feel uptight, and so a lot of the things that you are doing on your show are easy and accessible.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like every day, it's like everyday us, not complicated. Look at the deal that I scored. Look at the food that we're eating today. Comfort, sometimes not comfort. Are we in a health kick this month? It's kind of like relatable, It's we're all trying to either eat healthy sometimes or go into that comfort food that we've been seeing online for the past month.
Start this. When did y'all start doing this?
Let me tell you, our channel's fairly new. We started in February
Okay.
and it's kind of been nonstop since.
Yeah, I figured, and that's why I was trying to like. I was like, let me go ahead and jump in and get these guys before before they take off. I don't know. You
Well,
never know.
yeah, thank you. And
So
the feedback has been great. So
that's
that's
what
what
I'm going to say. I'm hoping y'all go get paid. Okay, so then y'all are down here in Austin with me. What y'all think about barbecue?
I I love barbecue food. I hate barbecue sauce. I have no idea why. I
Oh,
know, and
that's
I'm here in Texas.
offensive.
I know, and I'm a Texan. I know I'm ashamed, but I love barbecue food, so I like barbecue. So, but for some reason,
the barbecue
it
sauce.
may just be the dishes I've had of barbecue sauce is just too much. Like I think I would like it if it was light, but it's just such a overwhelming, smothery flavor when it's served to me.
I am like, if I order barbecue or something, for some reason I don't get the barbecue sauce. I've got like some HEB stuff now, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
But like, just that's part of it. But I know when I've had some really bad barbecue. But I don't know if you've ever been, but barbecue itself without the sauce is still good. Have y'all been to
Yeah.
Ironworks before?
To where?
Ironworks on Caesar
That
Salad.
works.
Oh no, I have not, but I've seen it.
Like they have huge freaking ribs, man, like as big as like a
Yeah,
forearm.
on the list.
Like
Okay.
that. It's delicious. I think that I don't know how are y'all okay. So, how have you thought about that? Much is like doing a lot of the local plays because there's so much stuff here that I'm just still discovering. I've been in this
Oh
place,
yeah,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
but
I
like,
think. Oh yeah, I
Yes.
think right now, just because it's been feeling like we have a lot going on, we haven't been able to set time to be like, we're gonna go to this local spot and make time, right? But we're gonna be going local because I get a lot of recommendations all the time, especially, friends that have food trucks.
I
Oh,
request, can I be a special guest? Can I come eat?
please,
Please. Yes.
yes,
Can I come eat with y'all? If I,
yes. So we would love
Yeah.
for you to come eat barbecue with us.
I would do that. I
That'd
would.
be so
Yeah.
much fun.
And let me tell you, so barbecue for me, I grew up with my dad cooking a carne asada all the time. So he was constantly outside on the grill. If he said he was cooking, he meant that I'm turning on the barbecue and I'm barbecuing outside. But my only thing with barbecue, I love barbecue, but I just don't like barbecue sausage. Let me tell
Oh,
you why. Barbecue sausage, sometimes it can be very nice and beefy, or you just get that pork one that's like popping and it's disgusting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I don't want little balls of fat
don't like pork
popping.
sausage. I don't really like pork sausage myself.
Yeah.
I get
And
that.
let me tell you what, sometimes when I think of barbecue, I think of pork sausage and I get a little disgusted. But then I think of like pulled brisket, I mean, sorry, shredded brisket sandwich and berry buckies. And I'm like, you know what? I love barbecue
You
food.
know what someone should do? Someone needs to start like doing like food review of HEB because like
Yes.
I
Oh yeah, they
oh
have so much.
Oh,
We
there's
eat
so
their food
much.
all the time.
and
Sometimes
it's
in
their
our
own thing,
videos, yeah.
but like it's their own thing, but like they're doing it. Like I can you can it's amazing. And their barbecue's not bad either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did one episode where we cooked with HEB products. They had HEB fajitas, and that was our HEB episode where we used everything from HEB. And I trust HEB products.
Yeah,
The HEB brand versus a name brand,
of course.
always HEB just does it better, and the price is always
They
better.
really
So,
do. It's the only thing keeping me in Texas is HEB. It's
oh yeah,
I don't want to break up with HEB. I cannot break up with HEB.
Oh no.
I go to HEB every other day.
They're like
What?
family now.
I know, like I don't know what I would do because I've just gone and visited to like California and gone to the grocery store, and be like, oh, it's gross.
It
It's
feels complicated.
It does.
Grocery stores in other states not having HEB feels complicated,
You
and
feel lost.
you feel it feels lost, and you also feel like you're overpaying for things.
not fresh, man. It doesn't feel fresh. Like when I go to HEB, like I literally see them like all day preparing fresh food right in front of our faces. You know,
Yeah, no,
I finally got the sushi not too long ago, and it
How'd you
was
like it?
yeah, it was fine.
you
Yeah.
like it?
Yeah.
On Wednesdays they have 25% off on sushi. Just throwing that out. It's HEB on Wednesdays,
They
25%
always
off
have the
sushi.
deals. He knows the
Not
deal.
all HEBs are created equal now. Like I've gone to some HEBs where I had to turn back out, around and go back out, but like
Right.
they
Oh, you know what?
what's
There
this
is
like?
that.
So me and a friend went. I don't know why they insisted that we go to Bee Cave or some area there to go to the HEB, which was on the second floor. So you parked on the first floor, then your buggy went up an escalator to the
Oh,
Oh,
waterway.
I know which one. Yes. Yeah,
yes.
that's a newer one.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
one's by
I don't know
Lake
why we're
Austin.
doing this, but whatever. But it's cool, and you know, but I
Yeah,
went.
I remember when they opened that one, it was all the rage, and I actually went to go check it out. Yeah, I noticed that they're making HEBs like that now. There's another one on Old Torf that is exactly the same. It's a two-story HEB. You're taking
Oh
elevators
yeah,
up,
yeah. Right
elevators up to the
by like where is it? Like where South First and uh
yes, South Congress
yeah,
and
yeah,
Old Torf. Yes. So
yeah.
now we have one of those right there too. Very accessible.
Mhm.
So
So
yeah,
here's a question for y'all. Do you
yes,
this show is for everyone, anyone, right?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Particularly, or you guys are of the LGBTQIA plus and
Yes.
like background, correct?
Correct.
I always hope that our audience is the LGBT community first and then everybody else.
It's for everybody, but
It's for
we want
everybody.
them to know this is a place they can go.
Yeah, but we're doing it for the girls first.
There's nothing wrong with that. But but it's so important for us to do things like this, to give opportunity, to to inspire creativity most of it, even if it's through food, because as we talked before, like the world's already shady. We don't need to throw more shade. You know what I'm saying? You guys are coming at this with a very light-hearted approach. A relatable, again, I'm gonna say relatable. And to just be starting out like I've only been doing this so I just made a year and a half, and so like you just started in February. I mean, like you just, it's what you're doing is stuff that are people are just interested in. We're interested in food, but we're also interested in that connection.
The
And
human experience with the food. Mhm.
you are providing that, and it's an important component, the social component of food, as we're saying. And again, going back to how I don't like the social component of fine dining. I don't care if I'm a millionaire or a billionaire. That's not going that I do not enjoy that. To be honest, people make fun of me because I love going to go eat and stuff, but I don't like to sit at the table. I don't like to linger. Like when we're done eat, I need to check. Let's go so my legs can move. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not very good at turning 45-minute dinners into 3-hour-minute dinners. I could
Oh
not
gosh.
do.
Neither have
No, we can't
I.
do that either.
And that's also a thing with me going to do sit down restaurants. As much as I love a good sit down restaurant, sure, I'm just sometimes the whole back and forth. Oh, can I have more water? And can I have this? And can I have that? And I feel like I'm asking 1,000 things sometimes to one person just to get my meal. And I don't like that either. I don't like
Yeah,
making
with
somebody
groups,
have to play.
it's hard to go with groups. You can't like I will never like this is me, my birthday, Louis we want. All right, let me get these four friends together for dinner and we will meet the other 14 people out at the club. Like that's
Right, right,
Like,
exactly.
the inner circle is going to dinner with me, and then we're going to meet everybody else. But we're not going to get people that I don't have a close relationship with and eat. Like
yeah.
I used to tell people, you don't want to see me eat chicken wings or like barbecue with my hands because if you
Right,
saw
right.
me eat these things, you would think I was a monster. So I don't eat these things in front of people. I typically you gotta it takes a lot for me to eat in front of gays in general. But if I'm really
Yeah.
hungry.
Why is that?
I don't
Why
want
is
to be
that? Are they
judged.
judgy?
I had this feeling of being judged because I'm a monster when I eat. I'm like horrendous. You wouldn't want anything to do with me if you saw me eat a barbecue rib or a chicken wing. You'd be like, oh my god, he's Shrek.
And you know what? I will say that is sometimes what I have to think about going into some episodes too. I'm like, am I going to get the super saucy, crazy tenders that are going to make a mess, or should I just go with I'm like, or should I just go with a burger for filming sake, so I don't,
It's one of my worst fears is just walking out into public and having barbecue sauce all over my face and wing sauce, and they're like showtime, and I'm like doing an interview and it's all over. Horrifying. That's my
and then
worst fear. That's my
with your facial hair, you have to be careful,
It's like no one can at least offer you a napkin like before they make you do an interview.
you
Like,
can't count on everyone to be a real friend in public. Like I want my friends to make sure if you see that to tell me, but a lot of people will not.
Oh no, they won't. No, 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 no. No, I love a good brutally honest friend because
But
at
it's
least
not.
they got your back in the inconvenient times, but they got your back.
Don't let me go on camera and film something with a messy face. Don't let me do that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
right,
no,
right.
yeah, no, for sure. Patrick will tell me like, "Hey, do you want to do wear that or something?" Or I'll tell him like, "Hey, Pat, I'm like, go put something in your hair because it look,
It's
something."
usually him telling me because I don't have a great fashion sense. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What?
What?
I'm
So
I'm digging the black and what is that olive green combo or tan right
thank
there.
you.
Right,
I
that's
actually picked
good.
this shirt out. Okay,
I
so
like this shirt. I'm digging it. I'm digging this
thank
shirt.
you, thank you.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll be like, "Do you want to wear that neon bright thing on camera with, just I'm like, I don't, you know what? Let's go take a look in the closet." Or
Well,
sometimes we don't want to be so completely not in sync on camera that it just looks crazy to look at.
Luckily, I
As
do
a gay,
this, and
The
I
entertainer.
can I can do this show sometimes with little to no clothing on. So I don't, the expectations
period.
for me are different
Yeah,
because I'm a part of the leather. But I am the most modest, some of the most modest of Leathermen in terms of I do not get into full leather very often, and you're not going to see me get into it in this heat right now. But like I can't I didn't. So I marched last year for a candidate that was running, a gay mayor candidate, I think, or something.
oh yeah, yeah.
Doug Greco.
Oh
So I
yes.
had my leather. I just had on pants and I wore my suspenders and I had like my mirror cap on, but I was just
Drenched.
sweating, just
Ooh.
And
sweating.
then with the leather, it was, the smell
I
was
was just like, it was the meerkat was just really what was the worst part of it. So like, I don't know what's going to happen. Now I'm supposed to be. Well, we'll talk about that later. All right, y'all. So we're towards the end here. I'm so glad that I had you on here. Before we wrap up, this is where we kind of plug back into throwing light a little bit. The world needs more lights. And if there were any aspect of the community that you think that maybe we should shed more light on, what do you think that would be?
I want to say what needs to be thrown more light on, and it doesn't necessarily, it has nothing to do with food because we're gonna get a little serious right now. Trans people's stories and their journeys really need to be paid attention to, and people really need to see the truth about these people and how beautiful they all are and their own journeys and how they got to where they are now to fully understand the trans experience. And just having trans friends and seeing their and hearing their journeys and stories, it's inspiring. It reminds me that they need to be heard and we need to listen.
So just to bring a point on that, and I was just like, this book, can you see transgender history? Y'all like literally like this isn't new. Trans people have been here as long as humans have been here. So,
Yeah.
it's so easy to make an effort to understand. And there is so much energy in refusing to understand. So just to piggyback on what you were saying,
For
it's
me, that's the biggest thing that needs to have light thrown on it. Because now, like you said, these days everybody just wants to throw dust, shade, and turn off the lights for the trans community. So we need to throw light.
what you think, Patrick?
I agree with that, but I'd also add something else that needs light thrown on it is value based upon attractiveness. Especially within the gay community, I know a lot of people who they really suffer, like they can't even have a gay social network because they just get pushed out and isolated just because they don't think they're beautiful or the community doesn't think they're beautiful. And it really is unfortunate because the scars it leaves on them is so bad that even when they find the safe space of gay people, they still don't feel like they belong because they have that narrative in their head. I'm not beautiful. I don't fit in. They don't want me here. I'm not valuable. And it's crushing to know that we're still pushing that narrative in our community despite our history.
Yeah, so light needs to be thrown on to the people that still feel disenfranchised, even as adult LGBT people.
Everything you're saying is correct. I will share it in this way. The Mean Girls, the Mean Girl energy, the Regina George. We're still, as you can see in our society and culture, we're recycling the same things over and over again, and the change that we need is not occurring. But let me tell you 100% truth tea here. I have been Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls. I have played that character several times in my life where I fell into being one of the mean girls and realized that I myself was not a mean girl and that I needed to remove what like it was okay to exist by myself out of that realm. Like it was better than being in that realm. But what people need to understand is this need to be mean is really and look and and you know, social apps are a whole different conversation. We're treating those like reality. You got people that probably have an attitude with me or anyone else because of an interaction they expected to have on social media that they did not get. When sometimes
Right.
Right.
a lot of us don't even pay. Like I don't nurse in my phone and look at who's mess. And then I'm not good at like small conversation to be quite frank and forward. That's not. I'm not. Look, I'm a writer. I got a master's in English. I have a hard time simplifying my thoughts. You know, and then I'm the type of person where I'm like, fuck, if I think I'm texting too much, I start breaking it up just because I'm scared I'm going to lose the person. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
you know, but it's just that there are so many conflicts that are imaginary, and
Mhm.
we've got to have that conversation because the imaginary conflicts are rampant.
Yeah.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So y'all know. There we
No,
go.
we know.
That's why we're quiet. We're like, yep,
Yep.
yep.
And we see them a
So,
lot
you
very
know,
often.
I tell people, I said, how easy would it be to pick up Grinder and unite the community? How easy
Right.
would that be to use it as a unifying? No, it's literally there. And, you know, apology, we're participating in the culture still, but like our intentions are not bad, but people can interpret anything they want to. And the thing is really, y'all, it's the mentally unstable people that we have on these apps. Those are
Oh,
the real problems. And that goes across the board. Doesn't matter black, white, orange, you know, gay, straight. Like there are just certain people that are not cut to have social media. And there's no way to really check that right now. And I think that's a big problem. And we go back into creating toxic fandoms and things like that. People thinking they can do whatever they can on a keyboard and not in front of people. And I am confrontational. And I'm not like confrontational that I'm looking to fight. I'm confrontational in that we must be clear what each other are communicating. That's what I mean. Like I need to be very clear that I did not interpret this the wrong way, or I need to be clear that this person told me this information. Like I go to the source because I don't have a lot of time to waste, y'all. And you understand that too. We're
oh yeah.
Yeah.
doing this. I don't. I want you know. I want to spend more time in doing enjoying cooking and things that I'd rather be wrapped up in conflicts just because people, I don't know what other word to use, but just very cowardly behavior, you know.
Yeah. It
The
really,
constructive criticism is the only criticism that I think is necessary criticism. Like,
yeah. Like if you're just gonna go on there and say you're fat, get the fuck off.
but why do
Okay,
that?
language.
Like, why my you know, it's this whole facade of what the body, this image of all American. It's just not real.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unattainable, baby.
And we've watched America's Next Top Model. I mean, we know it's not real at this point. Like
Oh
it's
no.
a creation, and somehow we, instead of the people creating normal beauty, and I don't say normal, but um
Realistic.
natural beauty, rather than us celebrate natural beauty, we're celebrating manufactured beauty, which a lot of us, and look at what manufactured beauty, it leads to being on the Real Housewives for 15 seasons and your face and just you know what I'm saying, like that. It's not even healthy.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we do need to pay attention to in this society now is we need to know and see when something is heavily produced.
Yes.
People can't
They don't.
differentiate that anymore.
No, they need to
It's
change
scary.
their reality. To be honest with you, we need to drop it because we are not. It's not Survivor 1999. It's not Real World 1992. Like this isn't real. We know it's produced. Like I know common sense that when I watch, I'm like, this is not how our normal competition would go.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and that's what it is right now. And you know what? And that's why we love what we do because yes, we do editing on our show, but it's not produced in a sense of our reactions and what we made up to talk about. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to create shock drama, and it'd be different if you're
Yeah.
cooking and then you just started talking about like these just taboo subjects. You know what I'm saying? Like that drama. You know, I am not one of those people that thinks that all publicity is good publicity. I do not want to be the villain. I do not. I'm not interested in that.
Right.
I want to see shows that talk about heroes or people that want to be good. Like, why are we leaning into the villain edit? And it's like, look at where we are, dude. Just look at where we are. We're in our morals in terms of what entertainment is that we're rather see people fight and have conflict than actually get along and have a good time, which can also be interesting and fun.
Absolutely. No, that's the best. That to me, that's my favorite thing for entertainment when I see shows where there's conflict and they find how do they resolve it? How do we get from we're here, it looks like we'll never talk, we'll never work it out, and they find a way. That to me is the most interesting, most beautiful thing in anything I watch.
I agree. And so it's important that you guys keep doing this and so that we can have spaces to not just create, but to communicate. And I think it's a beautiful thing. That's why I had Joel. I thank you so much for being on Throwing Lights.
Thank you. We can't wait. We can't wait for our barbecue episode.
I'm looking forward to meeting in person. Please, I would love to. I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about the schedule later.
All right, y'all. Well, you know what to do. I'm gonna count to 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
If you
aren't throwing light, you ain't acting right.
Sorry,
I started thinking of my intro for my show.
You had one line. You had one
line.
You had one job.
If you're not throwing light, you're not acting right.
There you go. That's fine. All right, y'all. We're in the same city. Let's grab some food.
Barbecue, but no pork sausage.
No pork sausage. Maybe Ironworks. All right, y'all. It's been Throwing Light. This is LTJ, and I'm out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.